Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Movies and Melodies. Today I'm going to do a biography. This is an enormous task for me. It's the biography of Shakil Badayuni's favorite music director, that grand old man of Bollywood music, Mughal-e-Azam, 40 crore mein ek, Naushad Ali. Naushad Saab was born in Lucknow. He was born like a perfect Christmas gift for all of us music lovers on December 25th, 1919. He was born to a family that was not very well off. His father, Wahid Ali Saab, was a clerk. So they were not wealthy people at all by any means. And there was a very kind of a strict disciplinarian household where music was definitely not appreciated. He, however, even as a very young child, was immensely attracted to music. His uncle used to take him to the dargah at Deva Sharif of Waris Ali Shah, and there was a lot of music. You know, he was a Sufi saint, so his dargah had a lot of music. He was so attracted, even as a young child of 3 or 4 years old, he was very attracted to the music that was being played and sung at the dargah. Apparently there was a particular flute player and he would stand in front of this man and listen to him play for hours. And he, even as a young child, convinced his uncle to buy him a flute so that he could teach himself tunes that this flute player played. As he grew older and once he was a little more independent, he used to go to the dargah by himself and spend hours there with the musicians. In his quest for more music, he came upon this movie theatre called Royal Talkies. At that time, this was the silent film era. So the music, there were live musicians playing music. So during intermission, the musicians would play songs and remaining time they'd play the background score. So Naushad Saab did not have money to go and sit in the theatre. He stood outside the theatre, listened to the music, and his mind was so incredible. It was almost like it was imprinted on his mind, these tunes. And then he started searching for musical instruments that he could play these tunes on. And his search led him to this music instrument store where musical instruments were sold as well as repaired. He got a job there as a cleaner. So more about this in a minute, but I want to share a song with you now. This is from his first Diamond Jubilee hit. And this happened as early as 1944, a movie called Ratan. It was a very tragic movie, and you know, as movies were at that time, there were all these immensely tragic, cathartic kind of movies. But the music, Naushad Saab created music that was magical. Every song was a hit, every song. And it was Swarnalata and Karan Diwan in the lead. D.N. Madhok Saab's lyrics. So this song has been sung by Amir Bhai Karnataki. It's a very pretty song. From Ratan, Milke Bichhad Gayi Akhiyan.
Milke bichhad gayi akhiyan, harama milke bichhad gayi akhiyan. Milke bichhad gayi akhiyan, harama milke bichhad gayi akhiyan. मुश्किल से वो दिन बुलाए थे हमने, फिर आके छेड़ा पलमों ने। मुश्किल से वो दिन बुलाए थे हमने,
While he worked at the store, Naushad Saab would wait for every opportunity when Ghurbat Ali Saab, who was the owner of the store, would leave the store. Then he would go in the back and pick an instrument and start playing all these tunes that he had in his head on these instruments. He loved the harmonium. He taught himself how to play the harmonium and was very good at it. So one day, this had to happen inevitably. Ghurbat Ali Saab caught him red-handed playing one of these instruments. Naushad Saab was very scared. He was like, oh, this is not going to be good. But to his surprise, Ghurbat Ali Saab really appreciated the talent in this young boy, and he congratulated him, gifted him the harmonium, and said that he could practice music anytime he wanted in the store. In the meanwhile, he also heard from Naushad Saab that he would stand outside Royal Talkies and listen to the musicians. So he introduced him to the lead musician, Ustad Laddan Saab, who started teaching this young man music. Ghurbat Ali Saab himself knew music, so he too taught this young boy, and these two were his first gurus. Then Ghurbat Ali Saab introduced him to Ustad Babban Saab and then also Professor Yusuf Ali, who was a local music college professor. All these people helped him hone his skills on different instruments: the piano, the harmonium, tabla, sitar, shehnai. He was incredibly talented. He picked up all these instruments. He was very good at all. He was a phenomenal piano player. I guess the harmonium sort of translated to the piano really well. All these people also gave him a very kind of deep knowledge of Indian classical music. So he was, getting a very well-rounded education in music. In the meanwhile, he found some local musical groups to join, and he started playing at local theatres for their productions. He, in fact, started traveling with this one group. They went as far as some parts of Gujarat to play. They'd go to Bareilly, of course, play in and around Lucknow. All this was happening without any knowledge of his father, having, he had the secret musical life. But then, of course, inevitably, his father found out. He threw the harmonium out of the house, told this young man, you have to choose music or your life with us. Naushad Saab, at the incredibly young age of 17, decided that his life in music was much more important than pleasing his parents. So he took his harmonium and moved to Bombay. At the age of 17, I mean, what courage. And I guess it's something that was so innate in him that he had to do it. So he went to Bombay, and his struggles there began, but not for long. So for my second song, I want to share one from Mehboob Khan's, magnum opus, Mother India. This movie basically was Nargis ji through and through. The story of a young woman who is abandoned by her husband when he meets with an accident and loses his arms. And she's left with 3 young children. And the trials and tribulations that she goes through to cultivate this little patch of land and, make a success of her life and raise her 3 children, it was incredibly well made. And Nargis ji, she was Mother India. This movie just took her to another level. The supporting cast was fantastic too. Music, Naushad Ali with Shakil Badayuni's lyrics. Naushad Saab got such absolutely beautiful rural UP kind of folk music in this movie. This song, it's a song that they are celebrating harvest, and it's a song of happiness. It's a group song. Asha Bhonsle, Shamshad Begum, Mannada, Rafi Saab, there's a chorus as well. It's a beautiful song. So from Mother India, Dukh bhare din beete re bhaiya, ab sukh aayo re.
दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया तब सुख आयो रे रंग जीवन में नया लायो रे दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया तब सुख आयो रे
रंग जीवन में नया लायो रे
होए दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया बीते रे भैया
देख रे घटा घिर के आई रस भर भर लाई देख रे घटा घिर के आई रस भर भर लाई
ओ घटा गिर के आई छेड़ ले गोरी मन की बिना झिम झिम रुत छाई हो छेड़ ले गोरी मन की बिना रिम झिम रुत छाई
घटा गिर के आई हो
प्रेम की कागर लाए रे बादर बेकल मोरा किया होए प्रेम की कागर लाए रे बादर बेकल मोरा किया होए दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया अब सुख आयो रे
रंग जीवन में नया लायो रे
ओ दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया अब सुख आयो रे
रंग जीवन में नया लायो रे
होए दुख भरे दिन बीते रे भैया बीते रे भैया
For a 17-year-old in Bombay, life was very difficult at the time. He had no money. He knew only one person, a retired school principal from Lucknow who had come to live in Bombay. He lived with him for a few months. He used to walk every day to all the different studios looking for jobs. He got a job as a piano player for a movie called Samundar. Mushtaq Hussain was the music director. And for 3 months, he had this job, 40 rupees a month. He would go play the piano for all the songs and come back. After 3 months, he was again jobless. At this point, he moved to Dadar because most of the studios were around that area. And all this walking to and fro from distant parts of Bombay was very hard, time consuming, tiring, all of that. And many times he wouldn't even have food to eat. He went hungry for a couple of days at a time. It was a very hard time for him. In Dadar, a very kind shopkeeper gave him some room in the back of the shop for him to sleep at nights. But Bombay being so hot, he ended up sleeping on the footpath outside this neighboring kind of apartment block. And his struggles went on. Then suddenly one day he saw an ad for musical auditions for a new film company that had been formed, and the great Ustad Jhande Khan Saab, who was a very popular music director in Bollywood at the time, he was conducting the auditions. Now Naushad Saab had heard of this man and he was wanting to meet him, he wanted to impress him, he wanted a job with him. So he went for those auditions, and funnily enough, Ghulam Muhammad Saab, who became Naushad Saab's assistant later on and went on to compose music for Pakiza and all of that, he also had come to the auditions that same time for a tabla player's position. Jhande Khan Saab was extremely impressed by this young man, Naushad Ali. He hired him as a piano player, again a 40 rupees a month salary. Within a very short time, he promoted him to becoming his assistant. And by 1940, Naushad Saab was earning a salary of 100 rupees a month with Ustad Jhande Khan Saab. He was also assisting Khemchand Prakash ji, Gyan Dutt, D.N. Madhok ji, and several other people. So, his popularity as a music assistant was kind of growing. So for my next song, it's a song from a movie called Kohinoor. It is a beautiful, light-hearted, romantic duet sung by Rafi Saab Lata ji. The music for this movie, Naushad Saab did a phenomenal job. It was again Naushad Saab with Shakil Saab. The movie was great fun, romantic, comedy, very light-hearted, a lot of fun and frolic and laughter. But the music was just exquisite, absolute, total hit. So from Kohinoor, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात.
दो सितारों का ज़मीं
पर है मिलन आज की रात, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, मुस्कुराता है उम्मीदों का चमन आज की रात।
रंग लाई है मेरे दिल की लगन आज की रात, सारी दुनिया नजर आती है दुल्हन आज की रात।
दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, आज की हुस्न वाले तेरी दुनिया में कोई आया है, तेरे दीदार की हसरत भी कोई लाया है। तोड़ दे पर्दे का चलन आज की रात, मुस्कुराता है उम्मीदों का चमन आज की रात, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, आज की रात।
D.N. Madhok ji, or Mahakavi Madhok, he was very, very impressed by this young man. So he wanted to help him. He introduced him to a lot of music directors and studio heads, one of whom was Mohan Bhavnani. Mohan Bhavnani was making a movie called Prem Nagar. This movie released in 1941. Now, Madhok ji was writing the script, screenplay, dialogues for the movie and the lyrics. So he told Bhavnani ji, you have to hire this young man as music director. He is supremely capable and he will give you a hit music album. Bhavnani ji was very hesitant. I mean, Naushad Saab was so young, in his early 20s. He is like, how can I, bet all my money on this young, rather inexperienced young man? But Madhok ji was so convinced that this young man would be a super hit. He told Bhavnani ji, I will not take a single paisa from you if his music is subpar. He had that much confidence in Naushad Saab's ability. And sure enough, there were 8 songs in the movie, each one an absolute hit. Every single song was a super hit, and the movie also became a big hit. And his career took off at that point as an independent music director. He got a lot of movies, Sharda, Mala, Station Master, Nai Duniya. This came out, I think, in 1942 maybe, or 43. The same year that Sharda came out. And some people credit this as his first Silver Jubilee hit. Some people say, no, it's Sharda, that's his first Silver Jubilee hit. I couldn't quite get the dates of either, so we'll just leave it up to debate. But Nai Duniya saw a very young, maybe 13-year-old or 14-year-old Suraya ji making her debut as a playback singer for that movie. After Nai Duniya and Sharda, then he got his first Diamond Jubilee hit, Ratan. Madhok ji was also there in that movie. He wrote the lyrics and stuff. Now with Ratan, Naushad Saab, took it to another level. Until then, because the movies were made either in Lahore, which had a very Punjabi-based kind of music, fast but Punjabi beats, rural Punjabi or urban Punjabi, but very Punjabi. And then you had movies made in Calcutta, which were all very slow, melodious, heavily classical based but slower songs. So that was sort of the Bengali influence in Hindi movies. Naushad Saab decided he was going to bring in rural UP into Bollywood. He used Western instruments like the piano, the clarinet, the sax, and so on to create uniquely folk music with Ratan. The movie, of course, uber hit, music uber hit. It was on everyone's lips, these songs. At this point, his mother contacted him and said, look, we have arranged your marriage. You need to come to Lucknow and get married. So, give us a date when you can come here. So he said, I think it was early 1945 or so, he went. When he got to Lucknow, his parents told him, hey, look, do not breathe a word to anyone about what you do in Bombay, because we have lied to them and told them that you're a tailor. If we said that you were a music director, and that too for movies, they would refuse this rishta. So Naushad Saab was like, okay, fine, I'll go along with the lie. I mean, what's he going to do at that point? So when he went to get married, in his barat, the band was playing all the songs from Ratan. And he couldn't say a word. So he got to where his nikah was going to be performed. His father-in-law was sitting next to him and bemoaning the fact that Bollywood music was corrupting the youth. And whoever created these terrible tunes, horrible man, I wonder who this awful musician is who's created these terrible music tunes, and look at what these people are playing. And Naushad Saab is sitting there with his mouth shut, hoping and praying that no one will say anything about the fact that he was the music director. So he got married and he brought his young wife. She was accompanied by her mother, and I think his mother as well, to Bombay to sort of get them all settled down. And that was when he confessed to his wife and his mother-in-law that he was a musician. I guess initially there was a little bit of, shock and upset, but shaadi to ho gayi. So, what are they going to say? And his career continued to grow in leaps and bounds. So for my next song, I'd like to share one from that absolute classic, Mughal-e-Azam. I mean, how can I complete a Naushad episode without Mughal-e-Azam? This movie had incredible music. I mean, incredible music. Shakil ji, of course, writing all the lyrics. There are absolute classics in the movie, but this one, it's a beautiful Lataji solo, and the lyrics are stunning. It's like a prayer set in Rag Kedar. So he used very, very strongly classical based songs for this movie. So from Mughal-e-Azam, Bekas pe karam kijiye sarkar-e Madina.
सफीना दिल के फसाने जख्मों से भरा है किसी मजबूर का सीना बेकस पे करम कीजिए.
Naushad Saab now was renting a flat in that same apartment block where he used to sleep outside on the footpath. He was earning 500 rupees a month. He was doing very well. Every movie of his was a super success. He was experimenting with orchestration, with different instruments, creating purely Indian and even classical tunes with Western instruments, using 100-piece orchestras, all kinds of innovative ways to create incredibly enchanting and enduring tunes. By the year 1949, he was commanding a salary, or rather a price, of 1 lakh rupees per movie. In addition to that, as orchestration supervision charges, he was getting 10,000 rupees. So 1 lakh 10,000 rupees was Naushad Saab's charge per movie, and every producer paid it because they knew they had a surefire hit on their hands when Naushad Saab composed music for them. He tasted incredible success with Baaju Bawara. I mean, he was already doing incredibly well, but somehow Baaju Bawara was a movie that it caused an uproar, an amazing kind of a, what can I say, like a musical movement almost through the country with the music from that movie. He and Shakil Saab had kind of excelled themselves, so to speak. There's a kind of a very heart-wrenching anecdote associated with this movie's release. At the premiere, which was at Broadway Theatre, Naushad Saab, when he went there and he saw the crowds going wild for him, he broke down and was, like sobbing. Vijay Bhatt, who produced and directed the movie, he was very shocked and he was like, why are you upset? People are actually, they're appreciating you, they're calling out to you, they're all your fans. And he said, no, it's not that I'm upset with them, it's just that I'm overwhelmed because just 16 years ago, I was sleeping in the footpath across the street. It's taken me 16 years to cross the road. And of course, Vijay Bhatt was very moved and overwhelmed by this statement and so on. So for my next movie, next song, I want to share this one from a movie called Dastan. It came out in 1950. The promos and the trailer for this movie had this line in it which said 40 crore mein ek Naushad, which means in a population of 40 crores, that which was population of India at the time, there's only one Naushad Ali. So it was a testament to this man's immense talent and of course dedication and hard work, which he claims to have learnt from Ustad Jhandu Khan. This movie had beautiful, beautiful songs, Raj Kapoor and Suraya in the lead. And this particular song is actually a Rafi Saab Suraya duet. And it's, again, his versatility can be seen. It's set to a very modern waltz tune, very Western sounding. It's just lovely. I love this song. From Dastan, Ye Sawan Rut Tum Aur Hum.
Tarari, arari, arari, tarari, arari, arari. ये सावन रुत तुम और हम ताररारम ताररारम तारम पम तारम पम
ताररी अररी अररी ताररी अररी अररी दिल नाचे रे छम 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 ताररारम ताररारम
तारम पम तारम पम तुम लेके प्यार आ गए, गुलशन में बनकर बाहर आ गए।
देखो वो कलियों को आई हंसी, बादल की छाया में नाचे खुशी।
तू है तो फिर क्या है गम, तारररम तारररम तारम पम तारम पम ताररम।
Naushad Saab ruled the roost through the 50s and most of the 60s. He realized when he came into the 60s that the style of music was changing and he adapted. His tunes, if you look at his tunes from the 1960s, they're very, very different from the tunes that he composed in the 50s, which were also different from the tunes that he composed in the 40s. A man of immense talent and the intelligence to realize when his day in the sun was done. The 1970s brought music like that of R.D. Burman and Bappi Lahiri and so on, and Naushad Saab realized that he needed to stop. I think he composed his last score in 2005 for a movie called Taj Mahal, The Eternal Love Story. He was, of course, awarded with the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. He was given several Filmfare Awards, the Padma Bhushan. I mean, come on. What can you say? What award? I think he should have been given the Bharat Ratna, but that's a debate for another day. He was very happy in his personal life. He had 9 children. His first son, Rahman, was born when he had first married Begum Ashia. She passed away shortly after the child was born, and he later on married her younger sister, Begum Ahliya, had 8 more children. He had 3 sons, 6 daughters. He kept them all away from the movie industry because his wife really didn't want them to have anything to do with the movies. Yet, you know, they're surrounded by it. Their father is one of the greatest musicians. So it was inevitable that they would want to come into the movie industry. His oldest son became a director. He directed a few movies. His other son became his assistant, but much later in life. Naushad Saab was very baat ke pakke kind of a man. He felt very bad, you know, betraying his wife. So until she said it was okay, he didn't let his children get into the movies. He was also an intensely religious man. He was not a fanatic, but his faith was important to him. He didn't force it on anyone else. He was also an intensely disciplined man. He exercised every single day, yoga, strength training. He would go for a walk. He was very, very, very conscientious about that. He apparently never ate any fried food and never ate anything sweet. No sugar in his tea, coffee kind of a thing, no sweets or any such. If only I had that kind of discipline, but I'm not Naushad Saab. He also was a man who recognized talent in a lot of people. He helped a lot of people's careers. May 5th, 2005 saw the end of this wonderful human being. Even though he is physically no longer with us, his music will live on long past us and maybe 1,000 generations after us. So for my last song, I leave you with a song from Mere Mehboob. Rajendra Kumar and Sadhana in the lead. The music for this movie, absolutely stunning. Again, it was a change from the 50s to a very for that time, a very modern sounding tune, yet true to his classical roots. Rajendra Kumar was a very, very close friend of Naushad Saab. In fact, he was one of the few people who was given free rein to come to Naushad Saab's house and move around and even enter the Zanana section. That kind of closeness they both had. And of course, Rajendra Kumar greatly, greatly loved and respected Naushad Saab. This song, it's a Muhammad Rafi solo. Of course, Shakil Badayuni's lyrics, but it is such a sweetly intense, romantic song. Played on the piano. Rajendra Kumar is on the piano. ए हुस्न ज़रा जाग तुझे इश्क बुलाए.
ऐ हुस्न जरा जाग तुझे इश्क जगाए. ऐ हुस्न जरा जाग तुझे इश्क जगाए. बदले मेरी तकदीर जो तू होश में आए. बदले मेरी तकदीर जो तू होश में आए. ऐ हुस्न जरा जाग तुझे इश्क जगाए. तुझको बड़े अरमान से आया हूँ सुनाने. उम्मीद मेरे दिल की कहीं टूट न जाए.
That's it for today, folks. As always with biographies, I am dissatisfied, and especially with Naushad Ep. Now, how do you go about trying to compress this whole thing into a short episode where you want to convey the immense respect and love you have for this man? How do you pick songs from this incredibly vast repertoire of beautifully composed music? I felt like it was trying to empty an ocean with a thimble. It was a very difficult episode for me to compose and produce, I guess. For those of you who've subscribed to my channel, thank you. And for those of you who've not, please go to YouTube and subscribe to my channel and spread the word among your friends and family. I will be back in 2 weeks, but until then, remember, music is food for the soul. Keep listening.